Welcome to Music Matters Podcast with Daryl Craig Harris, talking about all things music with celebrities, artists, music business insiders, and more.
Alex from Sicard Hollow, how you doing?
Great, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. So you're on the road right now, right?
I'm literally in the van. And you look out the window. We're in Wyoming. Actually, we literally just pulled into the state. We're at a little Mexican restaurant here, and I don't even know the town, honestly, but first time in Wyoming. So
awesome. Yeah, I've been there. I know how that is. you kind of wake up
right.
Like, hey, where are we?
It's beautiful. Yeah, you can look, and it goes on for a while. Yeah, it's not many trees or nothing out here, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a really great part of the country. So Sicard Hollow, you guys have a really great, interesting sound. It's you kind of call yourself progressive jam bluegrass, I guess would be kind of the term. Right. And I was checking out your I know you have a new album coming out. You have a single that just got released. I really dig what you guys are doing. It's sort of like, would you say like Grateful Dead inspired, or what was some of your big inspirations?
It is, and it's funny. I've been talking to people about that recently because we've been getting the people have been saying, I know you guys identify with the Dead community, but people don't hear that influence too much in our music. I mean, we jam, I guess there's a factor of improvisation that you can parallel between the two. But like what I've been getting recently, which is funny and I love it, is people will be like, I don't want to offend you, but it kind of sounds like you're influenced by punk. And I love punk, like punk grass, that term.
Yeah, right.
Because, I grew up on punk rock, metal. I meandered my way through a lot of different genres before. I'm 27, so I found bluegrass, 5 years ago. I didn't have any idea about it before 5 years ago. Yeah. So the influence of the Dead, we all love the Grateful Dead. We identify with that scene, but I feel like the more of the influences that you hear that bleed through would be from all of our early musical loves or musical heroes. And I think that's more on the rock and roll heavier side, which is funny that we all ended up in this string band,
Yeah, it's actually interesting because bluegrass, like, it's pretty rock and roll. It's pretty heavy metal. I mean, the players there's so many killer players, right?
Right. And I've been able to find that parallel since I've discovered it. And since we've started going down the rabbit hole with the string band stuff, kind of figuring out our own way to do it, which is just like the organic process of teaching yourself a genre. We didn't grow up in bluegrass picking circles and all that traditional and cut our teeth on that type of stuff. So it's been interesting going back and also taking the time to study the founding fathers of the genre and respect them, but also that's not us, that wasn't my upbringing. So, we're sprinkling in naturally sprinkling in our own flavor. I think it's just organically happening as we're creating music together. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
That's how all those genres have progressed, right? If they just stayed in one place, they wouldn't be growing. And that's part of being an artist. You got to create challenges, break down boundaries. Tell me about you. So when did you start playing? How did you get into music initially?
I started. All right. So I grew up in Alabama. My parents bought me a guitar when I was younger, just as trying to get me into something. My dad didn't play. My mom didn't play. I'm not from a very musically oriented family. They love tunes. They love music. We've all, always had the radio on and stuff like that. But, they got me a guitar. I took a couple lessons here and there and I liked it, but I didn't have a passion for it. I don't think at that time in my life, I was ready to dive into that, or I couldn't, I didn't have that spark in me. I loved music though. I would get obsessed with bands, but the guitar ended up being something I put on the back burner. I gave it up for a while. I got really into partying and had to take a little bit of a sidetrack and get my life together a little bit. And I rekindled a relationship with the guitar when I was about 19 to maybe a little bit before I turned 20. And I mean, awesome. I literally could play like 3 chords at this time, 4 chords, and slowly but surely started chipping away at it again and really found this passion for it. But it didn't really, really spark again until I met the guys in the band, which the band's changed a little bit. The band that we're in right now, 3 of us are founding members. Our bass player has been in the band for 2 years, but when you're surrounded by people who are really good, which I consider all of them to be very good, and I found myself in Nashville around all these people that were blowing my mind on an instrument, like in front of my face. Yeah. Obviously, I knew about all these amazing rock stars, but like these are random kids who were smoking a joint on a porch, and this guy's like shredding this electric guitar like I've never heard. So there's a couple different factors that played into like me really, really hitting the ground running with it. And not being cocky about it. Like I've improved quite a bit over the past 5 years. Like when we started, I wouldn't even take a guitar break during a song. We had 2 guitarists. Like I was so insecure about it. And with the help of these guys and, put in a bunch of effort and practice your ass off, and you can achieve whatever you want on an instrument. So it's been a very inspiring journey.
Yeah, it's a band of brothers, right? You guys are all there supporting each other. It makes it's that thing. You have the individual parts, but then the sum of the parts actually becomes even this really brighter star. Tell me about that.
100%.
Yeah. So how did you guys originally meet? Was it pretty organic? Did you put out like a notice for members or?
No, that's funny, man. Because I didn't even care for this to happen. Like I moved to Nashville. Cause like I said, I had to get my life together. I got into, I just took it a little bit too far in certain areas of my life, and I had to take a little time out and reset. And I was looking to integrate back into a community of people, not even find musicians, whatever, My mom grew up in Brentwood, Tennessee. So I moved at the time I lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for a little bit. I found myself in Nashville, going to school at Belmont, trying to just, figure out what the hell I wanted to do. So I met our mandolin player, and, he would ask me to jam all the time. And I was playing electric guitar a little bit. He was playing guitar. He had never picked up a mandolin. And I would just say, no, because I was so insecure. I'd make up all these excuses because I didn't even know what jamming with another person was going to be like. I'm like, what do we even do when we get together? What do you want to do? You just start playing stuff. So, right. And it's been such a cool, because, and I understand that concept, but sit down with somebody and, it can be you got to get vulnerable at that point. I would get embarrassed because I wouldn't know how to contribute. So I met Will, and, finally we got to jamming, but it wasn't like a band thing. And what really, I think, was the kicker for like us starting something was our fiddle player, Matt, is quite incredible at what he does. And he's been for a long time. Yeah. He's a shredder, his way he plays is beautiful. He started playing fiddle or violin when he was 4, or 5 years old. So it's kind of like, it's a language to him at this point. And like, I had met him at jam band shows, and he would just, being honest, he would just be bopping around the crowd looking so happy, and I didn't even know who he was, and we'd pass by and he would hug me. And that happened like 4 times. And I'm like, what's your name, little dude? Like, what do you do? Right, straight up. Because, and it was so funny how it all formed. So I was like, hey, well, me and Will are going to be hanging out. Like, why don't you come over and bring your fiddle and, let's throw some shit at the wall and just see what happens. And he comes over, what do you want to play? What do you want to play? I start playing Friend of the Devil, and next thing you know, me and Will just look at each other like, whoa, dude. So from then on out, we formed, and then it been all just so organic. I don't think it ever would have happened if we would have tried to force any aspect of this group.
Yeah, sometimes it's the universe, conspiring to put you together, right?
I believe that with my whole heart with this, because it literally changed the fabric of my existence. Like it changed, everything changed in a second. And, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to actually have something to sink my teeth into that I feel passionate about, that gets me up in the morning and keeps me up at night, because there's so much work left to do, and it's exciting to me. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. And you're out there doing it. You're on the road. I know you guys have been touring. So what was the name of your first album? What was the name of that album?
First album is called Secret of the Breeze, which that one means a lot to me, honestly, because it's like Secret of the Breeze, the song in itself, was like the second one I wrote for the band, maybe like the 4th song I'd ever finished or considered finished in my life. Because when we started, man, it was like, all right, we need original material. So for some reason, I just started channeling something, and I didn't even know what the hell I was writing about. So that album will always hold a special place in my heart. I believe it's a great representation of where we were at the beginning. And I don't know. And it still represents us. But yeah, it's a special album.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're writing because like sometimes you get gifts from the universe. I hate to bring up the universe, but it's true. Like there's a stream of creativity, and all of a sudden you kind of tap into that. It's like, oh wow, where did that come from?
It blew my mind the first time I felt that because like these songs, like some of these songs, I eat my own words all the time. Like I won't even know what the hell I'm writing about. There's a song I had. It's not on that record, but it's called "To Be Free," and like. I wrote it like second verse. I wrote first. I didn't know it was the second verse. Then the first verse came and then I figured out what the song was about. Then I could tie it in with the last verse. And like that whole process when I finished it and I'm like, holy shit. Like I didn't even, you know, there's a message in here that I didn't even know. Like I didn't even know
right.
like how to write that. But like it's those I call them golden hours of thought. Like it used to be in the middle of the night for me, like 3 a.m. or something. I'd be up and like all of a sudden that wheel would churn. And when that wheel starts churning, take out your damn notebook, whatever it is, and write that shit down and do whatever you got to do to grab it and hold it. Because
right, Keith Richards' story, he always keeps a notepad by his bed because he wakes up in the middle of the night.
Right, dude, because the thoughts are so fleeting, man. Like I'm a runner, like I run a lot, and I'll be like on a long run, and I'll have the song going through my head. Not all the time, you know, but I'll stop the run and pull my phone, you know, take my phone out and jot down on my notes just so like in case something comes from it. My notes in my phone are just like hundreds of random ideas and like my mind works. It's kind of like it's like compartments. And I'll have one thing and I'll be like, oh shit, I wrote this like little paragraph like 2 years ago that actually like I think could fit that. And then
it
like
starts resonating with you. Right.
Together, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I'll finish songs that I started writing like 4 years ago that I had just forgot about. So it's so interesting, that whole process.
So you have your sophomore album coming out, which would be the second album, Brightest of Days. That's coming out in November, right? November 11th, I think.
No. November 11th is the date. Yeah, we are very, very excited to get that out to people.
Yeah, and then you have a single out that literally just got released, Forecast of Life. Tell me about that song.
So Forecast of Life, actually, so we just released a tune called Face the Wreckage. Forecast of Life is going to come out too. I don't think it's out quite yet, but I will speak on both of those. And it's all good because I think
Forecast of Life comes out on the 21st, I think. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, it does come out, but you're right. Yeah. Forecast of Life, man. I'll talk about that one, honestly. That's a cool tune. So the overall premise of the tune is letting go of things out of your control, because ultimately, like you have no control over it. So there's no point in worrying about it. You know, you let go and let it happen in those types of situations. My sister, Emma, she's like one of my just my best friend. I love that girl to death. She lives in Colorado. She went to a Widespread Panic concert and it rained. It was at Red Rocks and it poured down rain. She had some buddies come up and she said when it rained, she was saying like they faced away from the stage and huddled up. And she was like, dude, I was raging. I took my rain jacket off and I was dancing my ass off. Yeah.
I was going to say, because that crowd probably wouldn't care that it was
No, that's my thing. And I'm like, you guys traveled all the way out there, like embrace the rain. That's Widespread Panic raging for you. Like dance your ass off, get into it. And I said the line on the phone. I'm like, well, you know, you can't change the weather, but you can dance in the rain. And she was like, dude, write a song about that. So immediately I started writing. So that's kind of an ode to my sister and to just like not taking things so seriously and like, shit, it's raining. You're at this concert. Like you're going to get wet regardless. Like you might as well enjoy it, you know? So I love it. It's got a good positive, a positive message to it. It's been really well received when we play it live too. So I have a lot of fun playing that one.
Awesome. Where can people find your music?
Okay. Yeah. It's on most streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. There's a good bit of stuff there. You can keep up stuff on Facebook. We have a fan page on Facebook where you can find Sicard Hollow Band on Facebook, but our fan page is Sicard Fam, and like that you'll find a ton of like random videos of people at shows. You know, awesome. Those are the main places you find the music now. We used to have a SoundCloud with some early stuff. If people do care to hear us, like at our very beginning, there's some cool stuff on there. But like as of recent music, mainly like your main streaming platforms.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. It's cool and challenging at the same time. But like, the social media thing has really democratized music. Like it gives people access to a lot of stuff that they may not have ever heard before, right?
It's beautiful, and it's also crazy. Like I kind of call it playing the game. Like it's incredible coming from Nashville and seeing how many people who are insane freaks at what they do, amazing musicians, and they're playing in Nashville, and they might never leave Nashville. And then you go out on the road and see the band headlining the theater where the opener's better than them, and somehow they have more clout or more pull and can get people in the venue. Like marketing yourself is so important, and it's beautiful how many people you can reach and affect. So like getting a groove of that platform and finding out the ways to get your posts in front of people now is the hardest thing about it, because the algorithm chews and spits up things, and you never know. It's hard to determine how to get it in people's algorithms. So it's a blessing and a curse, it's another job in itself, but it is a beautiful thing that, we do have this amazing a couple different amazing platforms to, spread our message and spread our tunes. So we're trying to figure that out, but I think we've been getting better about it.
Yeah, your content's great, and I think we're all trying to figure that out, even with what I do too. I mean, I'm a musician, and podcasts, like I totally hear you and all that. What's some advice that you would give to young musicians that want to put together a band, songwriting, touring? Like, what's some of the biggest lessons you've learned?
It's scary as hell. I didn't want to. It is my dream, and at the time I didn't really know that. But like, don't give up on it. Like I couldn't. And I would say practice with intention and purpose. Like it's amazing. People tell me all the time, like, what are you doing to practice and stuff? And like, I just put in a lot of time, hours. I mean, some days, I'm playing 8 to 10 hours in my room till my fingers have never been bleeding. But that saying, like, I've come damn close to it. Don't give up though. If you believe in something, then and your heart's in it, then you're going to be down to work 150% every day until you get to the level that you want, whether that's putting food on the table, paying your bills, or being on the late night show and selling out the arenas. I think everything will come in time if your heart's in it and you're working your ass off.
Yeah. And I 100% agree with you. Yeah. It's focus, right?
It's a hard thing to do, but if you can tap into that part of yourself, like you can do whatever the hell you want to do.
Exactly. I 100% agree. Hey, everybody, check out Sicard Hollow. New releases coming up. Check them out on social media. Give me all the names of the band since we're on that. I want to get everybody
all the members.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're right inside. Will Heron plays mandolin. Matthew Rennick plays fiddle, and Parrish Gabriel plays upright and now electric. Actually, we've been really featuring him on the electric bass, and he's a monster electric player. So awesome. It's opened up a whole new realm for jam. So, and my name's Alex King, guitar and vocals. And songwriter. Will writes a decent bit of the tunes too. So awesome. That's the gang, 4 of us.
Yeah, I always like to include everybody. I know you get nominated.
100%. No,
you get nominated to be the front guy.
Exactly. No, we are a unit. I am not shit without them, and vice versa. It takes 4 to tango in our case. So.
Awesome. Hey, well, Alex, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Go eat some awesome Mexican food in Wyoming. have fun on your tour.
It's an interesting spot. They have very weird dishes here. A lot of them incorporate like hamburger meat and French fries to like a Mexican plate. So it's something that and I'm a vegetarian too. So like I asked the woman, I go, "Do you have any vegetarian dishes?" She goes, it gives French me this fries. Weird look. Right. I know. So we're gonna go see what's at the table for me. But I appreciate you, man.
Awesome, man. Have a great day. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, you take care, brother.
Cool, bye.
Thanks for joining us, and please consider subscribing to our podcast and follow us on our social media pages for guest announcements.